Welcome to my new top 20 PSVR2 games list for 2024. We now have over 200 games available on PlayStation Store, and it's been at least 6 months since I did my last list video, which means things have definitely changed. Some games have gone up due to the amount of time I've spent with them, or they've had updates, and some have disappeared off this list completely. These are the games that show you the very best of what the headset is capable of and will give you the most enjoyment and playtime. In at number 20 we have Creed Rise to Glory. This is one of the best boxing games in VR, and the Championship Edition has tons of content and a great story. It also features online multiplayer and really great graphics, plus excellent haptics. If you're looking for a way to burn some calories, this is a fantastic choice. At number 19 we have Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. It was a good game on the Meta Quest on PSVR2. It's called the Enhanced Edition for a very good reason. Graphically, this game is simply gorgeous on the PSVR2 and is a fantastic Star Wars game, and even though it is more of a shoot 'em up, you get to meet many of your favourite Star Wars characters from the Star Wars universe, and one of the characters is actually a Jedi, so you do get to use a lightsaber and use the Force in some Jedi trials. For me, this is definitely a must buy. At number 18 we have Cube VR. It's a procedurally generated Minecraft style sandbox game, meaning it's your playground to do pretty much whatever you want. Cube VR is all about discovery and imagination, and the graphics in Cube VR are truly breathtaking. It uses eye tracking and dynamic foveated rendering to hit graphics capable of, say, an RTX 3090. With multiplayer, enemies and weapons still in development and coming soon, it's a great addition to the PSVR2 catalogue. At number 17 we have The Seventh Guest VR, and it is now one of my all-time favourite VR puzzlers, featuring 3D motion capture to really tell the story in a way that no other VR game has before. You have to explore a creepy mansion using a special magical lamp that, when turned on, shows you the past in real time, and using this effect to see the mansion go from present day to the past never gets old, and the puzzles can get really challenging. I highly recommend it. At number 16 we have Zombieland Headshot Fever. This is a fantastic arcade style shooter that's all about speed and accuracy, and there's quite a few levels available now thanks to DLC, and chasing your friends on the leaderboards just never gets old. Plus the new visual style, which is exclusive to PSVR2, makes this the ultimate version of one of my favourite games. At number 15 we have Crossfire Sierra Squad. It's an all-out alpha action arcade game, and it's really fun in co-op, and it now has manual reloading and some even newer updates. The guns feel super satisfying, and it has a super smooth high frame rate that makes this an unmissable action package. At number 14 we have Light Brigade. You are humanity's last line of defense and journey through procedurally generated battlegrounds as many times as it takes to free the souls of the fallen. There is 5 loadouts for you to unlock, featuring weapons such as rifles, shotguns and SMGs, and each class has a unique player perk. And what sets the Light Brigade apart from other FPS roguelites is because it simply ticks so many boxes all at once. It's got a beautiful cel-shaded art style, satisfying bosses combined with great music and excellent weapons. At number 13 we have Arizona Sunshine 2, which is a fantastic sequel to one of the most well-known zombie games ever in VR. It's literally an upgrade in every single way to the original, especially with the inclusion of your canine buddy companion. It's what makes this game so special for me personally. He can attack everything from zombies, collect items, and it makes the single player experience really unique. The zombies also look pretty unique to each other, and the sheer amount of them inside the headset, especially on the hardest difficulty, is pretty special. If you're looking for something a bit more serious, I would look elsewhere, because in all honesty, Arizona Sunshine is more about having fun, and that's especially true in co-op mode. At number 12 we have Breaches. Now this is a fantastic 5v5 FPS that is pretty much the Rainbow Six of VR. You play as 2 factions, the Enforcers, whose job is to disarm bombs, which is actually my favourite side to play because tactical infiltration in VR is a real buzz, and Breaches nails this feeling completely. If you get the right team, plan your entry and working together and then executing the plan is an amazing feeling. And speaking of feeling, haptic support is coming soon, so stay tuned for that video. At number 11 we have Hello Games' legendary No Man's Sky, and after many years of progress, the VR version on PSVR2 is truly stunning, thanks to using the eye tracking and dynamic foveated rendering, making everything look incredibly crisp, and the colours of the PSVR2 panel really make your jaw drop. Even if you have a top spec PC, I would argue this is the very best version and the best way to play No Man's Sky in VR. At number 10 we have Legendary Tales, and it's quite possibly the most physical game I've ever played on PSVR2. All the weapons and shields have weight, and if you haven't played something like Boneworks or Blade and Sorcery for example, that's the sort of mechanics you're dealing with. It also has 4-player co-op, which completely changes the dynamic of the game, and as a testament to how physical this is, I actually twisted my ankle during the review and burnt over 2,000 calories in one day. It's got one of the best parry systems in VR as well, which really requires you to use some force to smash your opponent's weapons. All in all, it's a great game in almost every way, and there's haptic support coming to PSVR2 at some point soon. At number 9 we have Horizon Call of the Mountain, which still shows the incredible graphics PS5 and PSVR2 is capable of. We are talking top spec PC imagery, and even though the gameplay can feel a little linear and the gameplay is almost 80% climbing, it's a truly fantastic journey into the world of Horizon and shouldn't be missed by those of you who may not have picked up the original PSVR2 bundle. At number 8 we have Synapse, and unfortunately it is kind of short and it does get a little repetitive, but no other game on this list demos the technology found inside the PSVR2 headset like this one. The telekinesis ability is the defining power of Synapse due to using eye tracking, and it gives you a sensational feeling of power and control you simply won't experience in any other game. You can simply select items in the world by using your eyes, use the environment for cover, and the guns feel awesome. When you experience all of this in combination along with the speed of the game, it's a truly brilliant title, only held back by longevity. At number 7 we have The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapters 1 and 2, and is one of the best zombie survival games ever made for VR. It's got a lengthy campaign, fantastic stabbing physics, a meaty chainsaw and hours of gameplay, and the PSVR2 version stands visually above all other formats. Seriously, one of my favourites of all time. At number 6 we have Madison VR, and what I'm about to say I've never really said about any VR game before, but Madison VR should come with a health warning, because in all honesty, this is a whole new level of fear for me in VR. Even though Madison VR had many delays, it now looks really nice with a smooth native 90Hz, and obviously looks really good with the deep blacks on PSVR2. It's got a fantastic atmosphere and the sound design is really clever. Madison is now my favourite pure VR horror title, and even though there is no action because you're only armed with a camera that you need to use to trigger certain events, it's left a lasting impression on me, and I don't think I'll forget about this game anytime soon. At number 5 we have Pavlov, purely for the amount of time I've spent playing this online, especially on PSVR2, with a huge variety of realistic weapons and game modes, such as Search and Destroy, which feels exactly like Counter-Strike for VR, the famous TTT mode, Prop Hunt, The Hide, gun game, and with some new levels recently added. At this point in PSVR2's life cycle, it's still an unmissable title. At number 4 we have Red Matter 2, which is a puzzle adventure game that takes place during the dystopian Cold War, and you'll learn the story of how people trapped in a reality rebel and fight to do the right thing. You will embark on a journey of a lifetime. This is a truly incredible graphical showpiece of what PSVR2 is capable of, and when you see this running at the highest resolution along with 120 frames native, it simply looks completely stunning and is a brilliant story and interactive puzzle adventure. I really can't recommend this game enough. At number 3 we have Resident Evil 8, and Capcom really put the work in to deliver what can only be described as one of the best survival horror experiences I've had to date. Once you play Resident Evil 8 in VR, you'll never go back to the flat screen. It has some really cool VR only mechanics, and the weapons feel unbelievably great, especially the shotgun. At number 2 we have Gran Turismo 7, and is of right now possibly the best racing experience you'll ever have in VR on any platform. The sense of speed and attention to detail pushed this game way above what I would have expected from any VR racer. And if you've played the flat screen version, everything from your original game, such as your car library, is fantastic to witness in VR. The sense of scale is fantastic, and the ability to sit in the cars and appreciate all the detail the game has to offer simply never gets boring every time you put on the headset. This is a must buy for everyone. And that brings us to the number 1 game on PSVR2 for me at least, and that is Resident Evil 4 Remake. I've been playing variations of Resident Evil 4 since the GameCube, and Resident Evil 4 Remake is one of the best remakes of all time. Capcom kept the core of everything that made the original brilliant, but made it next gen. And not only in terms of visuals, having completed it on a flat screen and then jumping into VR feels an entirely new experience, and it's definitely more intense and more scary due to the first person perspective. Click on the video shown right now to see the best upcoming VR games of 2024. Remember to like and subscribe and let others know your favourites down in the comments.
Who are you gonna protect like that?